Welcome to today's video. This is today's market outlook on volatility 10. If time permits us, we might also be looking at volatility 10.1s. Okay, so just the market outlook for today, 6th of January. Okay, so we are not here to predict the markets, we are just here to frame context. Okay, identify zones, right, pressure points where we know price is most likely to react from, and understand what price is responding to. Okay, and we'll be starting from the we'll be doing our top down analysis from the higher time frame. Okay, but basically, before we go into the charts, what are we looking for on the charts this morning? We are looking for structure, right? We're looking for a valid range. Say for instance, we're looking for a valid range as such, probably on the higher time frame, and then we're looking for a POI, right? A valid point of interest to focus on. So when price gets to any of those points of interest, then we are looking to scale down to the lower time frame. Okay, so we are looking to scale down to lower time frame when price gets to any of those points of interest. So once price gets to this point of interest on the higher time frame, right, then we want to scale down, right, and we scale down, we want to look for supporting fractal structure that moves like as such. So if price approaches that POI, say let's assume this is the 4-hour time frame, right, what we want to see is we want to see price react this way. So this is 15-minute movement I'm drawing out right now. So you want to see a break or a change of character in the opposite direction, right, and then a confirmation back into that range on the 15-minute time frame, and then a buy can be taken. So this also, in the reverse case, in the bullish case, is still the same thing. It's also valid in the bullish case. So this is a break of structure, right? This is a break of structure. So this is the H4 and this is the M15. So this is just a zoom in of what is going on here. Okay, so basically some of those zones, right, pressure points we are looking for are these POIs on the H4 time frame. So when we can identify a zone that we know price is heading to, even if structure has not formed like this, right, even if structure has not formed like this, even if price is just doing something like this, even if price is probably somewhere here, right, and it's already heading down, and we know there is a zone here, then we can still take supporting trades in that direction until we get to that zone. So which means what, we look for zones, right, in the opposite direction to sell from. So such zones could be located in areas like this, right, and so on. So, and this is the higher time frame context. So when we find those zones, we do the same thing here, right? We zoom in and we look for a change of market structure or change of character in that direction till we get to the zone that we are looking at. Okay, so that's just a diagrammatic summary of what I look for in the markets. Okay, so let's go into the charts straight up. So usually I like to start from the weekly time frame just to see what is going on, but just for the sake of time, I'm just going to move to the 24-hour time frame. Okay, so when I don't use the weekly, I use the 24. I trust the 24-hour time frame. So on the 24-hour time frame, I'm not doing much. I'm not drawing structure. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just looking for zones, right? Where do I see price heading to? For instance, I can see, price is bullish currently, and the bullish structure to a certain degree has even been confirmed because price has broken structure at this point here. So which means we are in for more bulls, right? But before those bulls continue, there would definitely be pullbacks, right? So those pullbacks will take us into some zones that we are looking out for. And if I look onto the left here, I can see certain zones to trade from. So for instance, I can see, that there is a sweep of liquidity here, right? Leading to a break of structure, right? So this is one range. I can see another one here, a sweep of liquidity, also leading to a break of structure. So this is another range as well, right? So this is the closest range I can find, because this range, if I move to this range here, this guy has been tested already. As you can see, price has tested this range, and it has not really reacted to it. So, and that range is as good as done. Okay, so this is the closest range I can find. And if I look at that range, so I'm just going to delete this because I don't want to mark out structure on my 24-hour. So I start to mark out structure from my 4-hour time frame. So looking at this now, I can see, I can identify my POI from this point, and it would have been this guy, right? Just like the supply, but this supply has already been tested. If I zoom into this chart, you can see that this supply right here has been tested by this week, so it's as good as done. So the next POI I can pick would be this guy. Okay, so now again, I'm not looking to say okay, price approaches this level and then I'm just looking for a sell from here. No, I'm not looking for that. I'm not trying to be precise with this zone. Okay, I'm not trying to predict this zone. I'm using this zone now to frame a context around the trades I'm going to be taking. So I'm not going to be getting into this 24 or daily time zone and then be looking for a sell. No. Okay, so I'm just using it to frame context. I've found a zone, right? This is a supply. You can see broke structure, so it's more like a very strong supply. And if I look at it from another angle, I can see some sort of order block here, right, that has been violated, right? So this order block has been violated right here. So it's leading to something like a breaker block, right? It's leading to something like a breaker block. And if I'm to mark that zone, right, I would most likely mark it from here, somewhere here, all the way to this point. So let's just say I have these two zones, right? I believe price will likely react from one of these two zones. So from one of these two zones, I believe price would give me a reaction that will be substantial on the lower time frame. So now that is the daily, right? So I'm just going to remove this and remove this. Okay, I have no business with these lines. These are the zones I'm focusing on for now because I see price what's moving upwards, right? I see price going upwards. So I'm focusing on these two zones at the moment. So I'm just going to write daily. So it's a daily zone, and I write daily here as well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scale down. Okay, so I scale down to the 4-hour time frame. So this is where I start to map out my structure. So 4-hour time frame, scaling down, right? So 4-hour time frame, I'm looking for, where is my break of structure? Somewhere. Okay, this is recent the recent major break of structure, which I call the external break of structure. So I just keep these guys here. You know, in Deriv you can't really save templates, so I just keep them here to reuse, right? As you know, selecting. Okay, so this is my most recent break of structure. Why? There is liquidity swept in this area right here. Okay, so having that, and I have this is sorry, this is also another break of structure. Okay, it looks minor, it looks very small, but it's also a major structure. So where are the things I just kept here now? Okay, it shouldn't be there, it should be somewhere here. Okay, so next up I see a change of character. Now remember, we have a zone we are heading to up here, right? So which means that in this, on the 4 hour time frame, right, we are sort of bullish, right? On the 4 hour time frame, we are sort of bullish, right? And that bullishness has to be, you know, it's I think it has even started, because if I mark out this zone right here, I can see the price has tested this guy. So, but do I think that is the zone? No, I don't think so. It looks like liquidity, because basically I would mark this. It looks like a strong zone, but knowing volatility for what volatility is, I would be looking at taking my own trade from here, right? Taking a buy from here. This could easily be a smart money trap. So I'll be looking at taking a buy from here. So now you see I have another zone, right? That I'm heading towards. Now this is on the 4 hour time frame. So now this zone, when we tap into it, then you know we are heading to this weekly, this daily zone, right? So I have a change of character, so I have structure moving downwards again, break of structure. Let me change this guy, so this guy will be change of character. Okay, so now we're moving, so it looks like we are selling, right? It looks like we are moving downwards. That is what it's looking like right now. It seems like as though we are moving downwards till we test, or price is trying to test this zone. So by the time I'm scaling down, I'm looking for possible sales on the 15-minute time frame, right? Possible sales on the 15-minute time frame that would tap into this zone before I now map out my next movement. So but before that, I need to draw out my weekly separators. Okay, so I usually add my weekly separators every Sunday, which is the start of the week. So on the 4 hour time frame, I look for Sunday 1 a.m. there, and I draw out another one, Sunday 1 a.m. right here. Then the next Sunday 1 a.m. right here. Okay, so now I have 2 weeks in view, this week and last week. The reason why I draw that is because I want to identify another source of liquidity that price will possibly react to, right? So Those forms of liquidity are what I call the previous daily high and the previous daily low right here. So now with those two and with this POI here, now when I drew out this POI, I wasn't really sure of what I was saying because I could see that okay, yes, there is a demand zone here, right? There's more like a rejection, candle, and there's a rejection block. If I zoom down, there will be structure here that will lead me to another block and all that. But there's sort of a rejection block here, but it looks like it has been tested, right? So when I drew it out, I wasn't sure, but I mean, it's still like the surest place I could draw it. But now seeing that there is a zone here, which is the previous weekly low, which I draw as PWL or PWH. You can see it from here. You can see it, PWL, and the other one is PWH. So seeing this previous weekly low here, now I will be changing where this POI is located, because basically what I want to see is I want to see price react to this low, this previous weekly low. So if price can react to this low, give me a sweeping candle, just a candle wick that sweeps the liquidity here and then closes above, then I will be looking for my buys. Okay, that is what I'll be looking for. So now it's at this point, it's not about a POI anymore, it's about liquidity for me. Okay, so in zones like this, I just draw this box, I just draw it as close to the liquidity as possible, just for me to mentally know that okay, I'm waiting for price to get to this point. So just draw it like that. So until then, until I get here, I should be bearish, right? I should be bearish. I should be looking for sales into this level and then a buy. Okay, so now that I've marked that out, next thing is to scale down. Okay, so I want to scale down, so I don't think price, I do not see price coming back to this point. I mean, normally this would have been a POI for this structure, right? So now I don't see price using this point here to reverse back to, I mean, to take a continuation, right? Yes, price might come back here later on and react to it, which I'm almost sure of. If price might do this, come to react to this guy and then come back here, then take a reaction from here, which we used to look for a short sale, right? And then continue to buy. Okay, so it could be part of the reason why price is possibly ignoring this zone right now and not trying to head there, because it's looking very bearish right now. So it could be because price wants to use this zone in the nearest future. Okay, so which is why I won't be considering this zone for now. Okay, for now I will not be considering that zone. So what I want to do now is to scale down to the 15-minute time frame to look for selling opportunities. Okay, so I will looking for selling opportunities into this area. So basically just consider this area as our target, right? So I can draw something out here from here. Let me just put it here, from to the bottom of this liquidity to this place, and call it target. So I can just see M15 target, right? M15 target. If I wouldn't want to put it here, we might be too close to this already, just in case we've not even found a buying opportunity. So let me just put it somewhere here, right? So if this is my M15 target, what am I looking for now? I'm looking for the selling opportunities. So let's scale down, so we can use these guys. (15-minute time frame). All right, great. So on the 15-minute time frame, what do we have? So price is moving. We are looking for sales here. So Where is the major recent major structure? It should be this guy 1, then the next this guy 2, this guy 3. These ones are minor structures. So a change of character here, then a break of structure here. Then it looks like we have a change of character. Damn, I saw this trade, but I wasn't sure of it, so I did not enter. If only I knew it would sell this good. Anyways, so a break of structure here, internal minor, change of character. Now there is liquidity here, but really no POI. So price used top of this range as liquidity, right? So at least I can confirm that this is a valid change of character. So what we are looking for now is it's a break of structure, so that this will be confirmed as liquidity. So you can see how close it is to the target already. It's already close, but we can't buy here. If you buy here, then you are buying too early. No, sorry, if you sell here, then you are selling too early, right? So you need to sell at a premium. Okay, so now let's look. Is there any internal structure we can take advantage of? This, okay, this. I see this. Okay, so I think I have a POI. I have somewhere to sell from. So I will be considering this level. I'll be considering this level right here to sell. So you might ask why am I selling from there? And that's because what I just did was I mapped out the internal structure. This is the external structure, right? So I mapped out, I just used my eyes, to map out the internal structure. And that internal structure, you can see, just if you follow my mouse movements, you see there's a break of structure here, right? Then you see this internal, this little move here, it's structure, right? But it's a minor one, right? So you can see 1, so that minor structure changed character here. 2, then it's broke structure here. 3, broke under structure. 4, broke under structure. 5, then change character here again. So you see it's all happening inside, internally. Okay, 5, while this happened, the external changed character, right? The internal also changed character. Then another break of structure, another break of structure, another break of structure, then a change of character. Then you see the change of character now give us this this sweep, right? So this is like an internal major structure. This is what I call an internal major structure. Okay, so now before I consider this for a sell, I want to see some form of inducement, right? So if when I see some form of inducement, then I can sell from this level. But if I do not see any form of inducement from this level, what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider that this area is a smart money trap. Okay, I will consider this area as a smart money trap called SMT. I will take this away. So now, since the top of this range, which most likely, it looks like it's most likely going to even happen, because I'm not seeing any inducement yet, and price is already heading here, and there isn't really not much gap from here, right? And I can sell from here. This is too short, but at least if I sell from here, you see that I have a long way to go. I can easily catch 1 to 4 from this, right? So what I want to do now is, having identified this, I just want to believe that this is going to be a smart money trap. So that means my entry is going to be at the top of this range, right? And if I look to the top of the range, if I look to the other side, I have another confluence, right? I have a POI sitting right at the top that can confirm that entry for me as well. And I can see a breaker block right here, right? You can see some sort of breaker right here because it broke structure and then violated that range immediately, aggressively. So this is a breaker block that can confirm this entry for me. So now what I'm just waiting for now is what, a retracement back. So this is for me, it's still a good place to actually take a sell, a retracement back that will eventually give us another break of structure at this point, right? Retracement back that will give us another break of structure at this point. And if we factor in our premium and discounts, you can see that this range, since we do not want to buy early, where we should be, we don't want to sell early, sorry, so our sale should be at a premium, right? So if we mark it out from here, we take it from here, right, all the way down, just we are just anticipating that okay, this is where this range will get to, or not even get too far. Let's just draw it to this level right here. So you see that this trade I'm going to take is not just in the premium, but is even in it's in deep premium, as a matter of fact. You see, so if I divide that into two, you see it's in deep premium, right? So this is what you call deep premium. You see, it's in deep premium. So for me, I still consider that's a good place to take a trade from. Okay, and that is just what I see on the chart today for volatility 10, and what I'll be waiting for. So that's just how I analyze the market. Okay, so I'll be waiting for this to play out, and once price gets to this point, now being that I didn't pick this POI from a 4-hour standpoint. For instance, if there was a 4-hour POI coming from here, right, and maybe that was where I picked this point of interest from, then this trade, I would have just entered directly, like for instance, wait for price to get here, wait for the 15-minute structure to be broken, then take a re-entry and sell, right? But because I came in here just on the 15-minute time frame, I still need a fractal confirmation entry. So that fractal confirmation entry basically means once price gets to this structure, this POI, sorry, on the M1 time frame, so that's I scale to the M1 time frame to take this trade. So once price gets to this POI on the M1 time frame, what I'm looking for is this. I'm looking for price to do this. So let's say price hits like this. So I'm waiting for price to break the recent structure, then come back to tap into a POI, right? It could be an order block, a breaker block, supply you get, and then now take that sell. So that's a confirmation trade for me. So that confirms to me that this level is valid and I can take a sell from this point I'm looking at right here. So that is what I'm looking for. So this is a zoomed in version of this guy. This is M1 and this is this is currently M15. Okay, so that's it for this video. That's today's market outlook. Like I said, we are not predicting, we've just framed context and we've identified points, right, areas where we know the market can react from. Okay, we try to understand what the market is responding to before we take a trade.